Hi D2BA Artsy fans, it is Michelle Houghton here. We're going to do a little Copic airbrushing and no line coloring today on this fun new set from D2BA Artsy. So I have stamped a little pencil, and what you're seeing is the mask. So I stamped it in a very light pink ink and then stamped it again and tucked it underneath. I put it on a post-it note and tucked it underneath, so there's the little stamped image, and then I've just cut some post-it notes and covered that message partially so that I'm going to have an eraser trail. Hopefully that makes sense here in just a moment. So I'm hooking up my Copic Airbrush system with a B05, kind of clicking that sketch marker in, making sure that nib is aligned. Sorry, BG05. Testing to make sure I have that going, covering up that bottom corner, and then nice, smooth, even strokes. You can't see this, but I'm about 4 or 5 inches away from the paper. I'm starting kind of off that one edge. You can see where it's blowing off, and then nice, even strokes. I'm not going very fast. This video is actually sped up just a hair. So that I could get it all in, and it's actually fairly quick. So then I'm going to peel those post-it note pieces off, and you're going to see what I hope eventually looks like kind of an eraser trail to go along with this adorable little message. And what I do is once I've made those masks, I stick them in with my stamps. And that way I never have to cut the mask again. It just goes with the stamps, and every time I want to do that, it pulls right back out. So, no line coloring. I am starting with a Y17 on the pencil, and this is my darkest yellow. And that's going to help me see those lines. Because remember, we're trying to make them disappear. So I'm starting from the left edge of each of those sections, covering up that pink line, and then pulling out just a little bit from there on each of those 3 sections. So the pink, if you get closer to it, is actually almost disappeared. Y15 is next. The far left is going to pretty much get filled in. The one in the middle will almost get filled in, and there's just a little tiny touch of that Y15 on the far right. Y11 is the last color, and it's going to fill in that middle section and then finish off the section to the right. So at this point, if you get closer in on that pencil, you're not going to see those pink lines very well until you get it really close around that yellow part of the pencil. A W5 and a colorless blender are hitting that band that's right above the eraser. And I'm going to come back to that. It's pretty wet because I hit it with that colorless blender, but I am going to add a little more here in a minute. E43 is going to go in on some of that wood. Now this is going to look fairly dark to start, and I'm putting kind of like a wood grain just a little bit on that cone end of the pencil. And this is the color that I chose to kind of help me make that pink line disappear. The E42 is coming in next. It goes directly over that texture. I'm not trying to erase it or blend it in, but it's going to soften it quite a bit. And then E40 is going to finish off that top. Now, again, once you see that pencil closer, you can see the hint of some of that wood grain or texture on there. W5 is going on the very tip, that lead tip of the pencil. And then I'm putting a little more right on the edges, and notice I'm putting those little tiny hash marks on that metal crimp around the pencil. W9 is going on the pencil lead, leaving just a little tiny cone shape of that W5. And then I put 2 or 3 little hash marks with the W9 on the metal crimp as well. What we've got left is the eraser. And I'm double checking these colors. I picked some out randomly that I think might work because I really want it to be this nice pink eraser. But I wasn't totally sure on color combos, so I just pulled it over to my paper real quick. R37 is the darkest of the group, and again, a lot of times with no line, I will start with that darkest color, and that helps me define that edge nice and cleanly with that dark color, and so I don't lose the edge. RV 3/4. So I've jumped from an R to an RV. This is RV 3/4. It's the mid-tone and it's coming further across. This is a cylinder shape. So I've kind of got dark on the one edge, and it's a basic shape. It's very, very simple and graphic. So I'm not doing any monumental shape work here, but keeping it real simple, kind of dark, working its way around to a light side, showing the roundness of that eraser. All right. So I am going to take this image and get it on a card, and I will show that off here in a few seconds. I always appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for stopping by the Dare to Be Artsy YouTube channel today. If you have a chance and would like to know more about my personal doings and live classes, check me out at www.scrapweaver.com. Thanks so much for stopping by today. All of us here dare you to be artsy.